Look closer at that conversation you walked away from feeling hollow. That deal that seemed too good to be true. That relationship that exhausts you more than it fulfills you. What you're feeling isn't coincidence, it's design. You are being played, not by cartoon villains but by masters of the human psyche. They operate in the shadows of your own mind, using your greatest strengths, your empathy, your trust, your desire to belong, against you. And the most terrifying part? You might not even know it. Studies suggest over 90% of us have been manipulated in subtle, devastating ways without realizing it. This isn't about paranoia. It's about perception. By the end of this film, you will possess a new lens to see the world. You will decode the hidden language of manipulation, recognize the 5 psychological tricks used to control you, and arm yourself with the tools to not just fight back, but to reclaim your autonomy. The invisible prison is made of your own thoughts. It's time to find the exit. So what is this invisible force we're dealing with? At its core, psychological manipulation is a covert form of social influence. It's not a debate. It's a directed play. Its goal is not to win you over with reason, but to control you through subterfuge, to change your perception and behavior for the manipulator's benefit, often at your own expense. To understand it, you must first see the crucial, fundamental difference between persuasion and manipulation. Imagine 2 people trying to get you to see a new film. The persuader will tell you about the brilliant director, the stunning cinematography, the rave reviews. They appeal to logic and shared enthusiasm. They want you to go because they genuinely believe you'll enjoy it. Their goal is mutual benefit. The manipulator takes a different path. They might say, "Oh, you wouldn't like it. It's probably too complex for your taste," using a backhanded compliment to trigger your insecurity and make you insist on going to prove them wrong. Or they'll sigh and say, "I guess I'll just go alone. It's fine," weaponizing your empathy and guilt to secure your company. Their goal is solely self-serving. Persuasion appeals to your conscious mind. Manipulation hijacks your subconscious. The manipulator is a psychological cartographer. They map the hidden terrain of your mind, your insecurities, your deepest desires, your cognitive biases, and then they exploit that map. They don't create new weaknesses. They find the existing fault lines in your psyche and apply precise pressure. They use your trust against you. They use your love against you. They use your very sense of reality against you. This is why it's so insidious and so effective. You're not fighting a foreign invader. You're fighting on a battlefield the manipulator has constructed within your own head. The confusion you feel, the self-doubt, the lingering sense of obligation that has no logical source, these are not signs of your failure. They are proof of the manipulation's design. It is a psychological sleight of hand, diverting your attention with emotion, while the real trick is played on your autonomy. Now that you understand the battlefield, it's time to identify the weapons. These are the 5 most common and devastating psychological tricks manipulators deploy. Recognizing them is your first and most powerful line of defense. 1. Gaslighting. This is the art of making you doubt your own sanity. The term comes from the 1938 play Gaslight, where a husband dims the gas lights in the attic, but insists to his wife that she is imagining it, making her question her own perception of reality. A modern gaslighter doesn't just lie, they systematically dismantle your trust in your own memory, senses, and judgment. They will flatly deny facts you both know are true. "I never said that. You must have dreamed it." They will trivialize your feelings. "You're so sensitive, you're overreacting again." They will reframe events to cast themselves as the victim. "I only said that because you made me so angry." The goal is to make you so reliant on their version of reality that you become easier to control. The sign to spot is a persistent, gut-wrenching feeling of confusion and a constant need to apologize for your own perceptions. 2. Emotional blackmail. This is manipulation through fear, obligation, and guilt, the fog. The emotional blackmailer knows your deepest vulnerabilities and holds them hostage. They use your empathy as a weapon. The phrases are designed to be inarguable. "If you really loved me, you'd do this for me." They threaten punishment, often emotional. "I guess I'll just be all alone then. It's fine." They imply immense, unpayable debt. "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me." They create a false dichotomy where your only choices are compliance or being a bad person, selfish, unloving, disloyal. The sign to spot is the heavy weight of duty that feels nothing like love, and the constant sensation that you are perpetually in their debt. 3. Exploiting cognitive biases. Manipulators are intuitive psychologists who exploit the mental shortcuts, the biases, our brains use to make quick decisions. Authority. Bias. We are hardwired to trust figures of authority. A manipulator will cloak themselves in the illusion of expertise, superiority, or rank. As your manager, I'm telling you this is the only way. They use titles, uniforms, or confident language to bypass your critical thinking. Social proof. The manipulator leverages our deep-seated fear of being an outcast. Everyone else on the team has agreed to work late. You don't want to be the only one letting us down, do you? It creates a pressure that feels democratic but is fundamentally coercive, making your refusal seem like a personal failing against the group. Scarcity principle. This preys on our fear of missing out. This offer is only valid for the next 10 minutes. I have other people interested, so I need an answer now. Artificial scarcity creates panic, short-circuiting your logical deliberation and forcing a rushed decision you haven't fully vetted. 4. Love bombing and devaluation. This is the brutal 1-2 punch common in toxic relationships. The first stage, love bombing, say, is an overwhelming deluge of affection, attention, and charm. You are showered with praise, gifts, and promises of a perfect future. It feels like a fairy tale. But this is not genuine intimacy. It is over-idealization. Its purpose is to hook you, to create an addiction to their approval, and to establish a powerful baseline of affection that they can later threaten to withdraw. Then comes the devaluation. Without warning, the warmth vanishes. They become critical, distant, and withholding. You are left confused, desperately trying to regain the paradise of the love-bombing phase. This cycle creates a powerful trauma bond. You become addicted to the high of intermittent reinforcement, chasing the rare moments of praise to escape the crushing lows they now inflict. 5. Projection. This is a defense mechanism, weaponized. A manipulator who is lying will accuse you of lying. A manipulator who is cheating will become obsessively jealous and accuse you of infidelity. The selfish one will constantly complain about your selfishness. Projection is a psychological purge. They cannot face their own flaws and negative impulses, so they offload them onto you. It serves two purposes. It deflects blame and scrutiny away from them, and it keeps you on the defensive, explaining and defending yourself against absurd accusations. You end up exhausted, trying to prove you are not the thing they are secretly afraid they are. The sign to spot is a baffling accusation that comes out of nowhere and feels like it describes them perfectly, not you. Why you? It's a question that haunts anyone who discovers they've been manipulated. The painful truth is that manipulators are not equal opportunity predators. They are strategic hunters, and they profile their targets with chilling efficiency. They don't look for strength, they look for accessibility. They are drawn to specific personality traits and situational vulnerabilities, like sharks to blood in the water. Let's start with personality. Your greatest strengths can be twisted into your greatest weaknesses in the hands of a manipulator. High empathy. This is perhaps the biggest target. Your ability to feel what others feel, to understand their pain, is a beautiful human trait. But to a manipulator, it is a control panel. They know that if they present themselves as a victim or express hurt, you will instinctively try to soothe them, even at your own expense. Your empathy overrides your self-preservation, making you easy to guilt-trip and hard to say no to. Low self-esteem. If you secretly doubt your own worth, you are primed for manipulation. A manipulator will offer the validation you crave initially. They will love bomb you, making you feel seen and valued for the first time. This creates dependency. Then, in the devaluation phase, their criticism confirms your deepest fears about yourself, making you work even harder to win back their approval. You become trapped in a cycle of seeking validation from the very person who is destroying your sense of self. A strong desire to please, conflict avoidance. If you prioritize harmony above all else, you will hand a manipulator a remote control for your behavior. They know that the threat of conflict, disapproval, or anger will be enough to make you capitulate. Your desire to keep the peace is a lever they will pull over and over again. Conscientiousness, a strong sense of duty. People who play by the rules and feel a deep sense of obligation are vulnerable to emotional blackmail. The phrase, "after all I've done for you," is kryptonite to the conscientious person. It triggers a powerful sense of debt that the manipulator will claim you can never fully repay. Beyond personality, situational vulnerability is a massive factor. Manipulators strike when your defenses are down. Times of stress. A major life change, a career shift, a move, a family crisis, a period of grief, exhausts your cognitive and emotional resources. You are less able to think critically, your boundaries are weaker, and you are more susceptible to someone who offers a simple solution or a strong shoulder to lean on. They offer stability and become a port in your storm, only to later become the storm itself. Uncertainty. When you are unsure of your path, fresh out of school, new to a job, unsure in a relationship, you are more open to influence from someone who appears confident and certain. They will present their plan as the only logical one, exploiting your uncertainty to steer you where they want you to go. Isolation. This is the manipulator's ultimate goal. They will systematically separate you from your support network, your friends, your family. They will criticize them, create drama, and make you feel like only they truly understand you. Once you are isolated, your reality becomes whatever they say it is. Your only source of validation becomes them, making escape feel impossible. Understanding this is not about self-blame. It is about strategic awareness. Knowing you have a big heart or are going through a hard time isn't a flaw. It's a fact. And facts are power. This knowledge allows you to see that you weren't chosen at random. You were chosen for a reason. And that reason is about them, not you. Knowledge of the enemy's tactics is useless without a strategy for your own defense. Awareness is your shield, but action is your sword. Fighting back is not about becoming manipulative yourself. It is about fortifying your psychological borders and reclaiming the autonomy that was stolen. Here is your arsenal. E1. Set strong, non-negotiable boundaries. A boundary is not a suggestion. It is a law you set for how others are permitted to treat you. It is the line where their rights end and yours begin. The manipulator's entire strategy is to blur this line. Your defense is to make it crystalline. State your limits clearly, calmly, and without apology. I am not willing to discuss this after 8 p.m. I will not tolerate being spoken to in that tone. That decision is not up for debate. Do not jade, justify, argue, defend, or explain. Excessive explanation is just handing them more material to argue against. A boundary is a statement of fact about your existence, not an opening for negotiation. When they test it, as they inevitably will, you must hold the line with consistent action. This is how you teach people how to treat you. 2. Cultivate emotional detachment in the moment. Manipulation is a heat-seeking missile aimed at your emotional triggers, your anger, your guilt, your fear. These are the levers they pull. Your goal is to recognize the lever being pulled before you respond. When you feel that familiar surge of guilt or panic, pause. That feeling is the alarm bell. Breathe. Create a nanosecond of space between the stimulus and your response. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this specific emotion right now? Is this my feeling or one someone is trying to manufacture in me? This momentary detachment drains the drama from the situation and allows your prefrontal cortex, your logic center, to re-engage. You stop reacting and start responding. 3. Fact-check everything. Trust evidence over words. Manipulators live in the world of subjective emotion and flat-out denial. You must anchor yourself in the objective world. When your reality is questioned, do not internalize the doubt, externalize the proof. Keep a journal of important conversations and agreements. Save text messages and emails. This is not paranoia. It is due diligence on your own sanity. When gaslighting begins, you can calmly refer to your records. My notes from our meeting show we agreed on Tuesday. This simple act of trusting evidence over charisma is a revolutionary act against manipulation. It calls their bluff without you needing to raise your voice. 4. Internalize the knowledge of cognitive biases. You cannot be exploited by a trap you can see. When someone uses an authority title to pressure you, your internal alarm should now ring. Authority bias alert. When they say everyone is doing it, you think social proof maneuver detected. When they press you for an immediate decision, scarcity principle in play. This knowledge acts like a psychological immune system. It identifies the foreign tactic and neutralizes its emotional power. You stop feeling pressured and start analyzing the strategy, which immediately puts you back in a position of control. 5. Know when and how to walk away. Your most powerful weapon is your ability to leave. You are not obligated to stay in a conversation, a negotiation, or a relationship that is costing you your peace and self-respect. You do not need their permission to exit. The manipulator will insist on a resolution on their terms, trapping you in a circular argument designed to exhaust you into submission. Break the cycle. This conversation is no longer productive. I'm ending it here. I've given you my final answer. Then, physically or emotionally disengage. This is not defeat. It is a strategic withdrawal from a rigged game. You win by refusing to play. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is the foundation upon which all other defense is built. This is not just a lesson in psychology. This is a reclamation of your reality. For the last however many minutes we have pulled back the curtain on the hidden mechanics of influence, not to make you cynical, but to make you free. The knowledge you now hold is a form of light, and light is the ultimate disinfectant. It evaporates the fog of fear, obligation, and guilt. It exposes the psychological tricks that only work in the shadows of unawareness. Remember this: susceptibility is not a character flaw. It is a human condition. The capacity to be manipulated is the price of admission for having a heart, a mind, and a desire to connect with others. Everyone at some point has been a target. The difference now is that you are no longer an unknowing participant in the game. You can see the board. You know the moves. You are armed with the 5 defenses. Boundaries as your armor, detachment as your clarity, evidence as your truth, knowledge as your shield, and the freedom to walk away as your ultimate power. Awareness plus action equals autonomy. This is the equation of your liberation. You now have the awareness. The action is up to you. It starts the next time a conversation feels off, the next time a request comes laden with guilt, the next time you feel that old, familiar doubt creeping in. In that moment, you will have a choice. Fall back into the old pattern, or step into the new strength you've built here today. We want to hear your story. You are not alone in this. In the comments below, share an experience where you now recognize a manipulation tactic at play. What was the moment you saw the strings? Your story could be the light that helps someone else find their way out of the dark. And to make this knowledge stick, we've created a free, downloadable checklist, a quick reference guide to the hidden tricks and how to fight back. It's linked in the description below. Download it, keep it. Use it to remind yourself that your mind is your own sovereign territory and you have the right to defend it. The world is full of influence. But from this moment forward, you get to decide what influences you. You are the author of your story, no one else. The final page is yours to write.